So, if you're picturing an accountant as just someone hunched over a calculator, well, that's a picture from the past. The whole profession is going through this massive change, and in this explainer, we're going to show you exactly how you fit into its future. This one sentence really just nails it. It perfectly captures the journey we're all on. See, it's not just about guarding the vault anymore. The world is now asking accountants to actually build and design the very structure of value and trust for a company. And this slide really just lays it all out, doesn't it? It's the before and after shot of accounting. Over on the left, you've got the old school gatekeeper, all about rules, looking backward at historical data, and just ticking compliance boxes. But on the right, that's the future, the value architect. That's about strategy, looking ahead, finding insights, and actively creating value. We're going to break down how you get there by focusing on three key pillars. So let's start with the absolute foundation, the bedrock of everything we do, ethics. Seriously, this isn't just some boring chapter you have to get through in a textbook. It is the concrete slab that all trust, and therefore all value, is built on. Without it, the whole building collapses.
The ISBA code is basically our ethical blueprint. It gives us these 5 fundamental principles. You've got integrity and objectivity. They're what stop people from cooking the books. Competence just means you have to stay sharp and know what you're doing. Professional behavior is all about upholding trust. But look at that line for confidentiality. See how it says it's balanced? That little word is setting us up for a huge shift in our responsibilities.
Right, so this is where the rubber meets the road. For decades, the rule was simple. What you heard in the office stayed in the office. Confidentiality was king. But what happens when you're auditing a company and find payments that look an awful lot like bribes? Suddenly, your duty to your client is clashing head-on with your duty to the public. What do you do? Well, lucky for us, we're not just left hanging. We have a playbook for this exact situation. It's called the NOCLAR framework. That stands for Non-Compliance with Laws and Regulations. It gives you a clear path. You don't just run to the press. You start by getting the facts, you take it to management, then you go to the board. But, and this is the key, if they don't fix it, the framework gives you the professional backing to consider taking it to an outside authority. It's a structured professional process. So, here's the bottom line on NOCLAR. It's a huge deal. It officially says that confidentiality is not an unbreakable vow. It basically empowers you as an accountant to put the public interest first. This is a massive paradigm shift. Okay, let's switch gears to our second pillar, because today, value isn't just about dollars and cents. It's about sustainability. And whenever companies start reporting on their green credentials, there's a big risk of greenwashing, making themselves sound more environmentally friendly than they really are. This is where you come in as the ultimate fact checker. And to fight this greenwashing, you need a weapon. That weapon is ISA 5000. It's basically the new global rulebook for checking sustainability claims. The super important part here is that it's framework neutral. That means it doesn't matter what system a company uses to report, this standard can be applied to all of them. It lets us compare apples to apples on everything from carbon emissions to factory conditions. Now, under this new standard, not all checks are created equal. You've got 2 levels. Think of limited assurance as a spot check. It's a good first step. But reasonable assurance, now that's the deep dive. That's where you're digging into the raw data with the same level of intensity as a financial audit. This is how we bring real rigor to all those green claims. So you might be thinking, is this a whole new skill set I have to learn from scratch? And the answer is no. The cool part is we get to use tools we already know and trust, like the COSO framework for internal controls. We're just applying that same logic, assessing risk, setting up controls, monitoring, to new types of data, like ESG metrics. We're making sure sustainability info is as reliable as the financial statements. All right, buckle up for our third and final pillar, technology. And I'm not just talking about fancier spreadsheets here. We're talking about a complete overhaul of how we work, moving from just looking in the rearview mirror to having a live dashboard of the business. Yeah, let that date really sink in. By 2025, which is basically tomorrow, skills like data analytics and knowing your way around AI aren't nice to have. They are core. They're table stakes. The profession is telling you loud and clear that you have to be tech savvy, period. And if you're wondering why this is so critical, just look at the numbers. 7.5 days. That's more than a full work week, just gone, vanished from the time it takes to close the monthly books.
That's time you get back to actually think and provide strategic advice instead of just doing repetitive tasks.
And it's not just about being faster, it's about being better. Think about it. AI can help auditors check 100% of transactions, not just a small sample. That means you're way more likely to catch mistakes or even fraud, which leads to reports that are way more trustworthy. But, and this is a big but, AI is absolutely a double-edged sword. For every amazing thing it can do, like spot fraud in real time, there's a flip side, a risk we have to manage. You have to worry about AI making things up, what they call hallucinations, or algorithms being biased. Your job as an architect is to manage that risk. And then there's the other big buzzword, blockchain. Forget all the crypto hype for a second. At its core, for us, it's just a super secure, uneditable digital receipt book. Once a transaction is in there, it can't be changed. That is an auditor's dream. It creates a perfect audit trail and makes real-time, continuous assurance a reality. So, with all this incredible power comes, you guessed it, a whole new landscape of risk. Your job isn't just to use the tech, it's to govern it. You're now on the front lines of cybersecurity, making sure AI models are fair, protecting private data, and, this is a big one, making sure your own skills stay up to date. Okay, so let's zoom out and put all the pieces together. The accountant of the future, the value architect, isn't just an ethics expert or a sustainability guru or a tech wizard. You have to be all three. They all weave together. Your tech skills make you better at sustainability assurance, and your ethical compass guides how you use that tech. It's a complete package. You know, this change is so fundamental, it's even changing job titles at the very top. People are starting to talk less about the chief financial officer and more about the chief value officer, a leader who's responsible for the total value of the company, financial, social, and environmental. So, this is it. This is your new job description, your mandate. It's not about hiding in the back office anymore. It's about being a strategic partner at the table, connecting the dots between the money and the mission, and ultimately being the person who ensures integrity in this new, complex digital world. And through all this change, you know what stays the same? Our core purpose. Technology, regulations, business models, they all change. But our role as the guarantor of integrity, that's forever. That's the value we bring that can never be automated. So think of it like this. As you go out there and start your careers, this is your architect's toolkit. You've got 3 essential tools you need to master: unwavering ethical leadership, deep expertise in sustainability assurance, and total command of digital governance. With those 3 things, you can build anything. Look, the bottom line is this. The entire profession is a construction site right now. The old building is being torn down and something new, something way more exciting is being built in its place. So my question to you is, are you ready to be one of the architects?